What would happen to you and your business if door-to-door sales became illegal tomorrow? 2 states have already tried this, and in this video, I'm going to help you build a bulletproof, defensible business or sales process, whether you're an owner, manager, or a sales rep, to survive the threats that could be coming your way at some point in the future. By building a business too heavily and too dependent on one thing means you're vulnerable and you're exposed. And in today's world, with the ever-changing landscape of legislation, insurance, private equity, the economy, and AI, adaptability is the new strategy. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. Welcome or welcome back. My name is Adam Bensman, and I help great people play their best game in sales, marketing, and business. And I can't wait to get into this video. Now let's get started. Roofing sales is personal development in disguise, and the reward for growth is life-changing. I hope my content helps you create a richer life and bank account. I'm watching a lot of roofing salespeople and roofing companies struggle right now. They're having a hard time getting jobs. They're finding that consumer spending is peeling back. Homeowners don't want to spend money. Interest rates are too high. Material prices are adding insult to injury. The potential tariffs that are going on, like the cards are stacked against us. And what I'm also seeing is that the companies that are doing really well, they have a more sophisticated and higher level of thinking. And one of the things that I'm working on with my content and with my community inside the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance is helping business owners and managers and salespeople think differently, because the level of thinking dictates your success. So in this video, I want to challenge you, whether you do door-to-door or not, doesn't matter, to think about business and sales differently in a way that allows you to be adaptable. Because as Zach Cass says, he's one of the 3 authors or creators of ChatGPT, he says adaptability is the new strategy. And he's getting paid big bucks by large corporations all around the world to help them become adaptable. So I just want to share this with you and talk through how can we apply this to our roofing companies. Okay, so let's first lay out the facts, and then let's look at what we can do. And then I'm going to end with the actionable strategies for you to start implementing right now. And I'm talking super tactical strategies. All right, so let's rock and roll. First thing is, there are states, Florida and Arkansas, that have both attempted through lobbyists and politicians to either ban or heavily restrict door-to-door sales in some capacity. Again, Florida and Arkansas. Florida was SB 76, and most recently was, and I'll explain what I mean by was Arkansas with HB 1308. Now, the good news is that the bill that was passed in Florida that gunned for door-to-door sales and restricted what people could say ended up being escalated to the Supreme Court level by a great roofing company, by the way, challenged and won. And they said, hey, there's a violation of First Amendment rights. Then Arkansas, with HB 1308, the first version of that bill, actually tried to outlaw or ban door-to-door sales. Now, that's not the one that they ended up going to hearing, but if you look at the state website, which I'm going to pull up right here and show you, it says 4/14/25, so that's again April 14th, not too long ago. It was withdrawn. The second update says recommended for study. Now, so for all the people, by the way, just to clear the air, I did a video on this bill while it was in process, but the good news is it didn't pass. So for all the folks that were like panicking about this, it did not pass. This is great news. But what this does mean is that there is anti-door-to-door sentiment. There's pressure from insurance lobbyists. There's pressure from politicians. So it doesn't mean that it won't happen again. They've already tried it twice. But what this does mean is that when legislation like SB 76 passed in Florida, it caught roofing companies on their heels, and many of them were scrambling, feeling like their company was hanging on by a thread. How do I adapt my business? How do I adapt my contracts? How do I retrain my team? I have to reprint all my marketing material. There was a lot of regulation, and especially there was a delay because the case had to go to the Supreme Court, and there was a special session that the governor called for, and it was a total mess. But then that became case law, which was then replicated in other states, one of which was very similar, was Minnesota. And then again, contractors had to react very quickly. So this is why adaptability is the new strategy. We have to be ahead of the game. Now, I'm going to share a story before we get tactical about how to think about business at what I'll say a higher, more sophisticated level. Now, they did an experiment. When I say they, this was a psychological experiment done on rats. Okay. Now, I love animals. I'm not all for animal cruelty. So please take this experiment with a grain of salt. And no, I didn't run it. But they starved a rat and they put it in a tube. Okay, and what they wanted to do is find out how much pain would this rat endure to get the food when it was starving to death. So they put this rat in the tube and they dangled a piece of cheese just out of reach. And they wanted to measure the level of pain it would endure by trapping its tail in a device that would measure the pull. Okay, so think of it like a mouse trap on a spring. And surprisingly, this rat is starving. The food's right there. It could reach it. It would just hurt. But guess what? The rat didn't want to pull that hard. It didn't like feeling pain, so it just sat there. And the thing that would save its life was right here, and it wouldn't pull. So they ran another experiment, and what they did is they put a cat behind the rat in the tube. And what would a cat do to a rat? It'd kill it. And that rat, you think it pulled hard? Oh boy, it did. It pulled with all its might to get away. Now, the lesson that's hiding in here is we as humans are actually more motivated on what could kill us than what could make us even more money, create a better life. We're looking in the rearview mirror. You may agree or disagree. It's okay. There's a lot of studies that indicate this level of motivation and drive. And for many humans in life, we get so close, like we will only change when the flames start licking us, right? Well, we'll just stay just far away. But as soon as that thing, the inferno is big enough, we're like, we got to change. But that's how most people operate. And the roofing companies, the roofing salespeople that truly want to survive, thrive, and grow, they're the ones that see the inferno. They're like, I know that fire, that wildfire might be a mile away, but I'm acting now. I'm not going to wait till it's at my property line. Okay? So that's what I'm going to teach you to do. So again, this is not an anti-door-to-door approach or video by any stretch of the imagination. But what this is about is that if we take any part of our business and go all in on only one thing, we're at risk of that one thing changing. Just the same, I'm going to use a few different examples. If I make an investment and I go all in on one thing and then it doesn't work, like if I went all in on Tesla stock and Tesla tanked, I'm out of money. If I go all in on let's say Facebook ads, and then suddenly, the person that was running my ads did something wrong, and I end up, they call it in Facebook jail, where your ad violated the policy and your ad account is shut down. Then you're like, where do my leads go from now? Like I used to get them all here. So what I want to do is now, I promise you, we're going to end with a strategy. So here's the strategy. There's 4 ways to get leads, and that's it. Okay. You go to them. They come to you, they're introduced to you, or they stumble upon you. Let's break these down. You go to them, that is generally door-to-door sales, cold calling, and direct mail. So this is direct sales. They come to you, can come through a lot of different vessels. Maybe it's branding, a call off a yard sign, but more popularly, it's pay-per-click advertising, LSA or local service ads, and then organic traffic. So this is people who are picking up the phone and calling your company. They know you already, right? And then you could put in this category, they come to you, third-party lead aggregators where someone says, I need a roof, and it's farmed out to 100 people, and that person has instant regret because there's 1.5 million people calling them, hounding them to buy a roof from them. Again, they stumble upon you, they're introduced to you is a referral from another customer or a center of influence, meaning it could be a referral from, let's say, Peggy that you just served, or the insurance agent that you're working with. All right. And then the final one is they stumble upon you, and that's using content online. People maybe find your social media page, your YouTube, whatever. They stumble upon you. Oh, you just popped in my world, right? Now, those are the only 4 ways. But what most people don't think through is that with each 4 of these, the following sales process of how that lead comes in is actually a little different. So when you go to them, they don't know who you are. You can go knock doors or send a direct mail letter. Branding isn't important. Okay, now, if you disagree, drop a comment. I don't think it's important because you are standing in front of them. And I have seen this happen. That's why you'll see when a storm hits, there are companies that have 0 brand recognition that travel out of state and they kill it because they're great at direct sales or door-to-door sales. Cold calling, whatever the case is. So from there, part of the sales process is communicating to someone that they even have a problem and then selling the brand. So there's a very different process than that they come to you. So if your team is used to receiving leads and I said, hi, I did my research. Adam, I called you. RSRA has great reputation. I've heard great things. That's a very different sales process. I'm picking up at a different place than I would if I'm reaching out. So companies usually have their core competency, meaning they're really good in one, 2, or two of these key areas. So what I want you to ask yourself right now is, which type of company am I? Am I a you go to them company, they come to me, they're introduced to me, or they stumble upon me? And usually it's, again, one of those four. So what I want you to do next is, if you're a you go to them company and you're doing door-to-door sales or direct sales, then what I would recommend is, how do you layer on an additional lead source that complements your core competency? In other words, it complements what you're already doing really well. So as an example, if I'm doing great at door-to-door sales, I'm going to layer in another direct sales strategy. Like, I'm going to build a call center, or I'm going to layer in a really robust direct mail strategy. Those are direct sales. In addition to that, I am going to work with my team on our referral strategy so we can start building it into our process. Because I know so many people, like, referrals are the easiest thing in the world, but they don't ask for them. Okay. Now, if you're a you go to them company, this video probably doesn't apply because we're talking door-to-door sales, and that's that. But again, I want to diversify my lead sources. Now, the threat, what a lot of people will do is they'll say, hey, all right, well, I'm a door-to-door company and now I want to become a you come to them company. And they're like, I got X dollars to spend, whether it's 5 grand, 10 grand, 15 or 30,000 a month, doesn't matter. And I've got some members of our community that are spending excess of 150,000 a month on ads. In excess. And we've got quite a few people in the $30,000 range. My point is, one of the mistakes is you're like, okay, I need to get some leads, and I'm going to throw like some money over here. I'm just going to fling it, see what sticks at Facebook. I'm going to fling this at pay-per-click. I'm going to fling this at SEO. I'm going to fling this at LSA. You know what? That weather app, I can get display. I'm going to fling it there. And you get spread too thin. That's not the way to go. What I would recommend is choose one additional strategy that you wish to test. Get a test budget in place with proper tracking in place, and say, hey, I'm going to go all in on cracking the code to this next thing so it can become one of my core competencies. And if you're great, again, at door-to-door, I'm going to go into direct mail or cold calling. And one of the most popular sessions in the RSRA community was when we had 2 members peel back the curtains and share how they built a call center in-house, where they get the lead, where they get the call list, how they call, how they hire a manager, their call scripts, how they pay the team, training, all that. And it's super cool because that now lives for all of our members, including the AI coaching assistant. So you can just like jump in and be like, how do I get a call list? Where do I get it? How do I pay my team? Again, that's the beauty of community. We're a community first organization where we share our winning secrets to help each other dominate in today's fast changing and unpredictable times. So I want you to think like, what is my next strategy to test? How do I pool my budget? Because data accelerates your learning. Get tracking in place and start testing it so you can create the defensible business that you need. And for my salespeople friends, referrals, 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 referrals. Live your life and your sales as if door-to-door sales would die tomorrow, and capitalize on every opportunity, asking for referrals and getting more leads. And to help you do that, jump right into this video called Referral Madness, and I'm going to teach you how to get more referrals from every customer you serve. Thanks. See you in the next one.